Bacon.
The choking blue of highway heat. Your heart can squeeze itself to stone. You can't reverse the ogre, all the verbal trash you've ever thrown. So hold on to the highs and the lows.
Oh, jeez. Such a slob. Oh my god. Okay. What job would you be terrible at? Music. I'm kidding.
Oh my god. I think about this. Okay, so like my worst job, I feel like would be as a news anchor because I'm constantly, not that I watch the news all the time, but whenever I do, I'm just like, I hate getting up early. News anchors have to be up in like the middle of the night, full makeup and everything at the studio, at least based off the few in-studio performances that we've done in the past. And they have to talk really precisely and like read the monitors. And I hate like I can't pronounce names. Like at the end of the show, my worst fear is like messing things up and being like, big thanks to Bob on the sound. And then everyone stops and they're like, his name was Brad. So yeah, I flub up my words all the time when I'm under pressure. So I would not want to be a news anchor.
I don't want to be an actor at all.
Like TV or stage?
It doesn't matter. No. I'm really, really bad at it, for one. I have a hard enough time making the right facial expressions without being under pressure. Because like most of the time it just looks like a mild version of what it's supposed to be, or like an extreme version of what it's supposed to be. But I think like there's something like so amazing about people who can become somebody else for like as long as they need to be, and on camera, and like totally emotionally bare during all of that. Like even like doing like small explorations with that choreographer we had for a while, like totally emotionally broke me for some reason. It was really weird because I feel like you have to like go to your bare bones of yourself before you can attempt to be somebody else's bare bones, you know? It's like just a crazy hard thing to do. So I have a lot of respect for that, and I would be absolutely awful at it. It'd be so bad.
Yeah. No, I feel like, yeah, like if I was doing acting now, like I feel like for some people it's comforting to like put on the other skin and not be yourself. But for me, I'd just be like 10 times more self-conscious.
Yeah. You're like, oh, that's still my face at the end of the day, you know? It's another weird thing to think about is like, you know, once it's on the screen, like everybody knows that face, which is yours, and like it's associated with this other fictional person. Like that's still your face, you know. You like give it to something else.
That's true.
It's really weird. I mean, in a way, we kind of do that too. Like, you know, once this like is out there, like, our music's out there. It's kind of like the impression of something that we spend a lot of time and like put out there for people to digest and consume, and like. What is it after that? Certainly not really ours. It's kind of everybody's at that point, you know? It's interesting. How can something so personal become so public?
Oh, God. How do you hope you'll change as a person in the future?
I hope I'll stop being so loud. No, for real. Like, I think it's important to become a person who listens just as much as they talk, or maybe listens more than they talk, you know? And like, I want to be the kind of person that like people can really lean on as like a leader, like somebody who's like, because like a good leader isn't just about making good decisions, like it's also about like understanding dynamic and you know, kind of making sure that everybody has a job or a position that's comfortable, and like really just being like emotionally intuitive. So like my goal in life, maybe one of them is to like eventually achieve that balance. Maybe balance is the word I'm looking for. I hope to be like a more balanced person.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What about you?
I want to be taller.
What, because I had a growth spurt and now you're jealous?
Yeah.
A growth spurt at 23?
Being left behind. I'd like to be taller. What else? Ties in with the what do you wish you knew more about, I think. Like, wish I knew Like, I feel like the more I learn, like the more comfortable I get with my decision making. You know, and really like to be able to lead a 40-minute presentation in something specific, but also like know enough and be confident enough that, like you said, people can kind of lean on you, and like you can help make other people's lives a little bit better, like if it's in the form of like education or you know, just because we've had so many people in our lives who have given us advice or like showed us a path we didn't know existed, and to be able to like be that for someone else, I feel like is a really good goal.
I think in some ways you already are, dude. My turn. Last question. What small gesture from a stranger made a big impact on you?
The guy who gave me an ice cream cone last night, he just like was like, "Do you want little like Pocky chocolate sticks in them?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." How do you know?
Yeah, maybe keep it away from. I would say it's too overwhelming to like make this question about music, because like, not to discount all of the help that people have given us in that realm. It's just the problem is it's so much that it's impossible to like get it all in. So just like maybe like we acknowledge that like we're so lucky and we're given these kind gestures from basically strangers all the time, just by people showing up. But it's too much to talk about, so we'll do it like outside of our musical realm, to the point where it's like so completely stranger that they don't even know we play music.
That was a good point, though, that just the mere fact of people showing up.
Yeah.
Or the mere fact of, like, someone deciding, hey, like, maybe I'll buy their CD, like, before they even started playing.
Hey, maybe I'll, like, grab a Petoskey Stone and give it to them before their show because they're in Ohio and they're far from home.
Yeah.
And I know that they'll appreciate this.
Or just being like, hey, like, you know, just, like, reaching out and being like, hey, I love that story you told last night, or I love that song. That's a good point. Like, there's a lot of those.
Like, I've had so many, like, conversations with complete strangers. I think the one that sticks out to me, and it's not even, like, anything, like, good or bad, but it was, like, I got on a plane, and I sat on this woman's scarf, and it was in my seat, and she just kind of went, oh, what the heck? I was like, oh, sorry. And, like, so I was, like, sitting in the middle of these two people, and towards the end of the flight, this woman, I think she could speak English very well, but she was like, I was like, oh, and she grabbed my wrist, like, really gently, like, really sweetly grabbed my wrist and, like, hit the button on my Fitbit and, like, just to see what time it was. And then we both kind of laughed because it was, like, such an intimate gesture for two strangers to have, was, like, grabbing the wrist and looking at the watch. It was, like, really just, like, familial, even though I didn't even know her name. Like, it was, and, like, I think about it all the time. I'm just, like, having those moments with people that are really human, even though, like, you haven't even spoken a word to each other. That's what, like, music is for me, too, because, like, you know, it's just, like, totally human nature at its core. It's, like, to the point where it's just the most gregarious thing that we could do, you know? It's just little moments like that.
That's true.
She was so funny.
That's so touching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a guy one time who was like sitting next to me. He had like some really elaborate like meal in front of him on a plane, and like he brought it with him. And I was maybe even like diagonal seat from him, and he kind of turned back and was like, "Do you want some of this?" And I was like, part of me was like, not eating food from a stranger, but then part of me was like, that's like really intimate for me. You know me, so like I get really emotional about food, and I was like, I try to do that now. I'm like, do you want to eat some of this? Do you want to eat this chunk of avocado? Like,
Yeah, we do that all the time. Like, sometimes we'll just have like so much food, like so many snacks collected in the back of the van, and like we'll pull up to hotels and there'll be like wait staff outside, be like, "Do you want some apples? Do you want a whole bag of apples? Because we're not gonna eat this."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool to get that back.
And it's been a good breakfast.